Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, and today we're going to go over my guide for the hard mode difficulty of Copperbell Mines. This dungeon is designed for level 50 characters with a minimum item level of 48, and can be unlocked by completing the quest Out of Sight, Out of Mine in Revenant's Toll in Mordona. This dungeon, I'm going to be switching it up from my other guides and doing a healer perspective, and this video was recorded using only the Duty Finder. There is one part I have in here that is from a different run. It's my bard perspective, but only because on my healer I was unable to get a good view of the mechanic for reasons you'll see later in the video. This dungeon is pretty straightforward compared to the other two hard mode dungeons. The dungeon starts off simply and grows more complex as you move through it though. The first Trashpool is simple. It's just 2 goblins and a hecaton share, which I'm probably butchering the name for. Therefore, for the rest of the video, we shall just call them Gigas. After the Gigas bust through the door and you kill all 3 mobs, take the lift down to the next part of the dungeon. Here, you will have several trash packs to clear through. The ghosts can be a bit annoying to hold aggro on since they like to kind of stand apart, so you can pull them back and line of sight them using the wall. Additionally, a Gigas will be patrolling back and forth on the path, so this prevents them from aggroing you before your party is ready. Kill these mobs, move up and kill 3 more goblins, and you are welcomed to a gauntlet type trash pool next. Upon walking across the initial bridge, the trash pool will begin. Several collapsed rocks have dropped in your path and you must destroy them to press forward. Every time you progress, groups of Spriggans will attack the party. They are very weak, so a few AoE should kill them quickly. At the same time, several unkillable Spriggans on the nearby construction site will throw rocks at the party for a few hundred damage. Neither of these Spriggans deal high damage, so just press forward and deal with these as annoyances. You will have to kill a single Gigas before the second collapsed rock, but other than that, it's just waves and waves of Spriggans. Should you decide, you can just kill the remaining 2 or 3 collapsed rocks, end the Gigas, and choose to AoE the Spriggans down at the end. After this gauntlet is over, it's back to a regular trash pool. Grab these 2 Gigas and the ghost and pull them back, so that the ghost follows your tank and the mobs stay grouped up. Kill them and move on to the first boss encounter. Oh, and you have to kill one more thing, a collapsed rock. I almost forgot that. The next area is called the Screaming Dark, and the boss arena consists of a single hecaton share mastermind, as I hate saying hecaton share guys, as well as many adds. The boss himself is a black mage and will spam cast fire on the main tank. There are several mining dross, little slime puddles, that place a poison on their main target as well. Multiple poisons can be inflicted on the same target, so be ready for Asuna and leeches a lot. Kill them all before focusing on the boss. Occasionally, the boss will place an AoE on the ground that will look like a flare. You can see this designated by a red AoE marker like most other abilities. When this ability is used, a portion of the wooden walkway will be lit on fire. Standing in the fire deals about 400 to 500 damage every 3 seconds. It's not a lot, but it adds up, so don't stand in the fire. Additionally, as you progress up the walkway, more adds will spawn. Specifically, every time he casts Flare, a bomb mob, a flambeau, will begin making its way towards the fiery part of the walkway. Should he get close enough to it, he will begin charging self-destruct, which will wipe your party. Make sure someone is calling out bomb spawns and that they are focused down immediately. Other than that, 2 hecaton share rock volters will spawn and attack the party. Make these your top kill priority after the flambeau. Finally, there are more drosses up ahead that must be killed as well. The goal of this fight is to deal with each wave of adds as they come out, and additionally keep the boss just out of range of his own fiery walkways while killing him before there are no more safe places to stand. If you drag the boss too far up the walkway, the next time he casts Flare, it will light up the entire walkway behind him, greatly reducing the time you have to kill him before the entire walkway is covered in fire. I recommend waiting for each flare to go off before dragging him just out of range of it, repeating this every time he casts the ability. So kill the adds in the order mentioned before. Kill the flambeaus first, then the rock volters when they first come out, kill the drosses as you're walking up the walkway, and finally make sure that you have enough time to kill the boss. And you should be alright if you do things in this order. Just be prepared for lots of damage when the rock volters come out. Their hits can add up pretty quick. Pick up your loot before heading to the next trash pack. Walk forward a bit and you'll find an elevator shaft that has no lift. You must jump down, which will bring your party to about 1 HP. Before you have much time to react, an event will start immediately, so parties need to be sure they are going at the same time. When you hit the bottom, group up and allow your healer to cast a core or cure 3 to heal the party up quickly before the event begins. This mini event has several miners attempting to break more collapsed rocks. Your goal is to protect them as best as possible while they damage it, while assisting them in dealing some extra damage whenever possible. 2 Gigas and a bomb will occasionally spawn and must be dealt with quickly. The Hecaton Share Wall Crasher can cast Fire 2 on the miners, so try to kill him if he spawns as quickly as possible. Additionally, be sure to kill the bomb away from the miners when it spawns. If he blows up next to them, it will kill them all. Now, this doesn't fail the event, but it means that your party will be spending extra time DPSing the collapsed rocks in wake of the dead miners. Finish the event and you are already at the second boss. Before going to the second boss though, be sure to grab that treasure coffer on the path. It has a little slime puddle in it. This second boss has a few varying strategies, but the overall goal will be the same. Biggie will be resting inside of Gog Magog, which will take a very long time to kill with traditional DPS, similar to the slime boss from the normal mode difficulty. There is a nearby improved blasting device, which when pressed will summon a Waymaker bomb next to it. By interacting with the bomb, you can pick it up and it will create a hotbar in place of your normal pet hotbar. The only ability on it causes you to place the bomb down. Your goal is to use these bombs to deal damage to the boss. Keep in mind that if you hold the bomb too long, it will blow up in your hands. If you look in your chat, there is a countdown that tells you approximately how much time you have remaining until the bomb explodes. However, after hitting him with the first bomb, the boss will begin walking around the arena, occasionally using a few very powerful attacks. The most common one he will use is Rock Slide, which will always go for the boss's highest enemy target. For this reason, even though he won't technically attack anybody, it is important for the tank to still be hitting the boss when they can during this phase, since if they don't, it is likely a healer who will get enmity next and die, as you see in this clip right here. There we go. Perfect. Perfect example. Since it is a line attack as well, the tank should try to avoid being near the DPS and the healer during this fight. And both the healers and the DPS should watch to make sure they just aren't within Rock Slide's line of fire as well. Everybody should definitely be looking at everybody's location during this fight. He also does a small AoE around him occasionally, and when his HP falls very low, he will begin to target spots of the room and place a fiery circle at his target location. Now, while this golem is doing this, he will summon 2 types of adds. One type are kindling sprites, which are just basic fire elementals that will lock onto a random target and cast spells on them. Just have one of your DPS kill these guys as they come out. The other type are bombs that will explode in an AoE after a short delay. Just don't stand near these guys. What seems best in practice is to have the healer stand close to the blasting device as best as possible, triggering it every time it's available. The tank or a free DPS should bring the bombs to the boss, dropping them when they are sure he will be nearby the explosion. This means that dropping it when it still has 5 to 8 seconds left may give him enough time to walk away from it, unless of course you place it in the path he appears to be walking. The other DPS focuses on killing the sprites as they come out. Keep in mind, again, if your tank is about to lose aggro on the boss, be sure that they do a Butcher's Block or a Rage of Halone combo to stay on top of enmity, to avoid Rock Slides going for the other targets. It hurts a lot, so healers just be prepared to heal the tank up after each one. After you destroy Gog Magog, Biggie will fall out of it. In order to finish the encounter, you must very quickly kill Biggie, who has very low HP. He will first run over to the blasting device and destroy it. Immediately after, an increasing number of bombs will appear and do a very large explosion. At first, it's just 1 bomb, then 2. I killed him before I was able to see if it went to 3, but I am assuming that if you don't kill Biggie quick enough, 3 bombs will spawn and they will cover the entire arena with each of them exploding, wiping your party. Focus him down ASAP before moving on to the next part of the dungeon. The next part has some more common trash pulls to deal with, nothing you really haven't seen before. You'll encounter a toad, some Uragnites, a few Gigas, some Hippogriffs, and a few Slimes. None of this does anything you haven't seen from these enemy types before, so just clear through them like you would normally. Also, the 3 Slimes are protecting a treasure coffer right here, so don't miss it. The final boss has several mechanics that each role should try to keep under control to make this fight as clean as possible. It's very easy to die during this encounter, so be on your toes. The boss himself is named Janos, a powerful Gigas in the center of sand and rock. Keep the sand and rock in mind. They both play a big part of this fight. Janos himself has several standard Gigas attacks. He will occasionally do a strong sweep move and a small AoE swing around himself. Heal through the sweep attack and run out of the AoE attack. After the fight progresses on a bit, he will also do a ranged AoE attack called Power Attack. This attack is extremely difficult to dodge. Whoever the target is will likely be hit if they were not already moving by the time this attack targets them. So just be prepared to heal up through it. It hits for about 1200 damage and it places a heavy debuff on the target. This should be dispelled off as soon as possible due to some of the other mechanics in the fight we will discuss later. Finally, towards the last little bit of his HP, he will begin using Impactful Roar, which as far as I could see simply just did about 1500 damage to the entire party. It may also have something to do with another mechanic we'll talk about in a second. Keep in mind, while all these attacks can be stunned, I recommend saving stuns for Impactful Roar, since it is by far the most devastating attack that he has. The primary mechanic of this fight is the Abyss Worm, which will be summoned shortly into the encounter. This worm will swim around the sand of the arena slowly. If he swims under anyone, he will deal several hundred damage every second to them while they remain on top of him. Basically, avoid standing on the sand pillar as he swims around. It's just extra damage that you're taking. Occasionally, the Abyss Worm will begin looking for fodder, which signals that the beast is hungry. When this message appears, one of your party members must grab one of the many crystallized rocks around the arena that we spoke of before, and bring it to the sand. You carry these similarly to the bombs in the second boss encounter, and drop them using an action on your pet hotbar. Should you fail to feed the Abyss Worm, he will do a party-wide AoE that pulls people towards the center of the room and does about 3 to 3,500 damage. While you can survive this attack, it's best to not let it happen at all. Be sure to assign someone to handle feeding the worm and protect that person at all costs. One thing I noticed in a previous attempt was that if the person with the rock is hit while carrying it to the sand, they will drop the rock and it will explode. Not sure if this only happens when you are hit, but something similar appeared to happen when our rock holding target got hit by power attack in the actual clip that I'm using here. But then again, I did notice that it also went off as soon as I casted Leech on him to remove his heavy effect. And I know that the transportation buff lasts 20 seconds, so you may want to avoid interacting with the rock carrying target while he's carrying rocks at all. Impactful Roar may also cause problems with this, so definitely stun that move. The final mechanic to deal with is that occasionally ads will come out of the west hand wall. This is the only wall I ever saw them come out of in 2 separate attempts. Early on, only one ad comes out, and it's weak enough that a single damage dealer can solo it with almost no heals needed. Eventually, 2 will come out, so each of your damage dealers may want to solo one, depending on if a bomb needs carrying or not. They do lock onto targets to kill. I'm not sure if this is intended to prevent the person they lock onto from carrying the bomb or not, but just kill them as they come out and you should be okay. As a precaution, if somebody gets locked on, you may not want to have that person carrying bombs. So, overall, just stun Impactful Roar and feed the Abyss Worm while killing the ads and you should be okay. It sounds a lot harder than it is, so just get in there and give it a shot. Communicate with your group and you should do just fine. This dungeon rewards 100 philosophy tokens and 50 mythology tomestones without using the duty roulette features. Of course, with duty roulette, you would get more. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helped. If it did, please like, favorite, subscribe, and share for more Final Fantasy XIV information and videos, as well as other Final Fantasy videos I will be putting out in the future. Of course, feel free to follow me on Facebook and Twitter where you can get regular updates about what I'm doing, videos I'm posting, when I'm streaming, and of course, you can ask me questions on those platforms as well. And finally, feel free to follow me on Twitch where I do stream Final Fantasy XIV, Final Fantasy Classic games, and I will be streaming some other games for the year of 2014. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's December 23rd when I'm posting it, so hope you guys have a happy holidays. Take care.